It's interesting that this evening the Daily Telegraph has put out a story that 10 ministers are threatening to quit the government if the government continues to adopt or to talk of taking a hardline approach about Rwanda and circumventing the European Convention on Human Rights. The MPs, who are in a list now circulated by the party whips, are from the One Nation group of 100 centrist conservatives who have said that overriding the convention would be a red line. So although what we hear in the media is the talk about the Red Wall and the Lee Anderson rubbish, remember what we're hearing is mostly from those hard right vocalists who have actually despaired of keeping their seat and have gone off to work for GB News or TalkTV. Those are the people we're hearing from. We're not hearing from this more centralist group, some of whom have decided they're not going to stand at the next election anyway, many of whom are deeply upset by the direction that the Conservative Party has twisted into in the last year. They were upset enough by Liz Truss. They are deeply upset by the trust that they might have placed in Rishi Sunak, who was supposed to be a more moderate leader, a unifier. In fact, he has yoked himself so firmly to the plough of Suella Braverman and Priti Patel that he cannot unpick himself. And he's being dragged along. And James Cleverly, I thought was one of the more moderate people in the current cabinet. Clearly not. Or clearly he's so intimidated by the Red Wall group, the bullies, that he doesn't dare put a foot wrong. What I've heard is that almost everything that is in this treaty and almost everything that will be in the emergency legislation has been drafted by Robert Jenrick, Suella Braverman's poodle. Well, maybe not Suella Braverman's poodle. In fact, maybe when you look at Jenrick, you think, aha, this is the man with the brains. This is the puppeteer or the Frankenstein, and Suella Braverman was just the monster. Well, the problem with the Frankenstein movie franchise is that once you've ditched the monster, Frankenstein goes off and makes another. I remember the wonderful, wonderful film with Peter Cushing, Frankenstein Created Woman. And it begins with the most spectacular scene where a deep freeze is opened up and Peter Cushing is pulled out, frozen. And he is warmed up and revived. He's dead. He's warmed up and revived, and he sits up, pulls out his pocket watch and says, "I have been dead for fully 5 minutes, but my soul did not leave my body." A beautiful line. I think the credits are running while he's being pulled out of the freezer. It is it sort of gives the proper image to emergency legislation anyway, isn't it? And Cleverly says that he sees no reason why migrants could not be sent from the UK to Rwanda in the coming months. So I think he's fixed on the schedule that has been touted that would see planes going off to Rwanda from about March or April, just in time for a spring election. But if these 10 ministers quit, I think we could end up with an election significantly sooner.